If you can read, you can cook, you can do anything. If you can read, you can cook, you can do anything. If you can read.
Hello everyone, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of If You Can Read, You Can Cook. My name is Lewis Morgan. Just wanted to start this show by talking about the title of the channel, which is If You Can Read, You Can Cook, of course, and the really the focus being on the Nagram. I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions now and in the future about what Nagram is. And Nagram is actually from right to left. It is my last name. Came up with that, just wanted to do something that was truly unique to myself anyway, and did some research on it, and the title was actually, or the definition of Nagram on Google was, it was a very cool dude. That was one of the, there was a few different ones, but that one was probably the first one I came to. So I think I'm a pretty cool dude, and I think some people, a lot of people around me are, they think the same thing. So that really resonated with me. I was glad that when I went out there and did look it up, that it was something that was very meaningful, didn't have anything derogatory attached to it. So it was something that my wife and both of my sisters actually mentioned. Why didn't I talk about what Nagram is all about? So, and just a little bit about doing a YouTube channel for the first time. It's a lot that goes into it, and there's some nervousness, and so anything that anyone can add to help, I'm welcome to any critique. I don't take things hard or anything like that, because this is not an easy thing to do, and I probably thought that it was initially, but first time in front of a camera, it's nervousness for sure. So anyone who does this, your hat has to go off to them, whether it's good or bad. It's something that if someone can pull it off, you got to take your hat off to them. And I'm not saying this because I have started this channel, but I'm saying this because anyone who can do something that I can't do, or I'm afraid to do, or that I don't think that I can do, I take my hat off to them, and this is one of those things. You probably look at the finished product or the end result, and you think that, oh wow, I can do that. But when you finally, step out there and it's something that you say, oh wow, maybe it wasn't as easy as I thought it was, but it is a very difficult thing to do. It's a lot that goes into it. It's a lot of hours that goes into it as well. So just want to kind of give everybody just a preview into what goes on when you do start your YouTube channel. And I know people say it all the time, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm not a chef by any stretch. I read recipes and I cook based on that. I'm very methodical, and if it says a teaspoon, I'm putting a teaspoon into it. And and along with that, also just being an avid reader, I started reading a book a week. And what happened was, there was a young lady at my job, and I overheard her having a conversation with a gentleman, and he said, oh, what book are you reading this week? And she said what she was reading. I can't remember what it was. And I went and asked her, I said, you read a book a week? Wow, that's incredible. I thought it was a big deal. And she said, yeah, they range anywhere from, 30 pages to 300 pages. But I thought it was something that just, it couldn't be done, with a schedule like we have, work and family and extracurricular activities and things like that. I just really thought that it was a difficult thing to do, but then I started doing it and found out that really when you do it, and you're going to watch so much less TV, if you're reading a book a week, if because it became my goal. I said, okay, I'm going to do that. And you think about that, and you're talking about 40 to 50 books a year if you stick to that. And just the education, the self-education that comes from that, and then the not reading or not watching that much TV, because we typically watch a lot of TV. So it was definitely a goal of mine. And again, it just went along with the cooking aspect of, what I do. I've always been cooking since I was, probably 6 years old, maybe even younger, but cooking something, I think we all start off with like eggs or something like that. But later on, it just became, you're putting together a recipe and you like it, and then you just add different ingredients to make it your own, and that's all it is. You get a base, and then you add things that you like, and of course over time, those recipes that you make more often than the others, you will perfect those, and you will be really good at cooking. So it's even that it's a little bit intimidating, but we can all cook, and we can all read, and I just challenge everyone to read more and cook more. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the book of the day. It's called The Four Agreements, and this is really it's a little book, but it is very, very, very impactful. The author is Don Miguel Ruiz. And I don't know if I'm sure there's other books out there that he has written. I haven't done any research, but this book was definitely a gem. This was recommended to me by a friend of mine named Walter a few years back, and read it, and it really resonated with me. And I think that when we decide that we're going to read anything, be it books, be it the Bible, be it whatever instruction of any sort, that once we read that book, that article, we need to make sure that we implement it in our lives. So if the book says to do a certain thing, then I wouldn't be reading it for any other reason. So let's just start to read these books and allow them to really resonate with us, and we go out and we practice these things. So I think they'll make a tremendous difference. This has been my experience in reading so much more, and it's been very impactful, not only to me, but the people around you will see the level of change in you. So the four agreements, just going to go in and read those. The first agreement: be impeccable with your word. And just that speaks to, if you say you're going to do something, go out there and do it, barring none or nothing. That my word is nothing short of death. Am I not going to keep my word? If I tell my wife, I make a promise to my wife that I'm going to do something for her, I don't go out and I don't come back to her and I negotiate, well, honey, let me go over here and do this, when I've already made her a promise. So if something comes up, or if someone asks me something else, I say, hey, let me do this for my wife that I've promised her, and then I'll come back and I'll help you to do that thing. So be very, very, very impeccable with your word. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. And that's a really difficult subject to deal with, because we all take things, not we all, but a lot of us takes things personally, because it's something that, when said to us, it's like, okay, well, why are they talking to me like that? Or why are they, but you can't take anything personally, because if someone says something or does something, it starts with them. It's never about the other person, especially if you've not done anything to bring them to that point. So we can't take those things personally like that. And I have, and I still do. But again, as I alluded to earlier, is that if we are going to hold these, we have to hold ourselves accountable to these things, because otherwise we might as well not even read them. So second one being don't take anything personally, okay? And then the third agreement is don't make assumptions. And that's another one that's powerful, because before we even meet anyone, we're saying, okay, this person is this or that or whatever it is. So we can't make assumptions, because it puts us in a bad situation, especially when we're wrong about a person or a thing. It makes the situation that much more intolerable to go out there and meet someone. I've always said that you can't not like a person if you've never met them, if you've never built a relationship. You know, you can not like something someone does, or you can not like the fact that they are, you know, tall, or they are short, or they are, you know, underweight or overweight. You can make these assumptions, if you will, but you can't really tell a person or tell anything from a person until you start to really build a relationship. So don't, again, the third agreement being, don't make any assumptions. And the last and final agreement is always do your best. And that is of the four agreements, that is my favorite. That is the one that no one around you can control. Nothing around you can stop you from doing your best. It might not be perfect. It might not be what you want it to be, but it absolutely can be what you deem to be your best. So if I'm asking something of my son, and I want him to go out there and you know, I may want him to do a thing a certain way, but that's not for me to I can want him to do my best, but that's not possible. He has to do his best. So at the end of the day, we have to be confident in that when we look in that mirror, when we lay our heads down, that we have absolutely done our best. And so this is a really good read. This is kind of a travel size. And again, the title is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I challenge you all to go out there and grab this book. It's a very quick read. It's an easy read, but it is a powerful, powerful message that's in this small book. So with that, I just want to thank you all, and I appreciate following me and things like that, and tuning in to each episode. I will typically do a show every Sunday. Good time to do things because we're sit back and we're relaxing. So in your relaxation period, if you can jump on, and I'll not sure when I'll post, but it'll be sometime during the day on Sunday, typically morning, let's say. I'll put something out there. Hope that it motivates you. Hope that it does what reading and cooking has done for me. So I appreciate you all. And so in the next episode, I will be cooking a vegetarian lasagna that I think you all will really like. It's going to be quick. I like quick recipes. I like tasty recipes. So the recipe is going to definitely be a quick recipe that I believe you all will love. So until next time, always remember, if you can read, you can cook, you can do anything. All right. Thank you all. See you next time. Bye-bye.
If you can read, you can cook, you can do anything. If you can read, you can cook, you can do anything.